Welcome back to Entering the Light Fantastic, a channeled message from beyond the veil. This is our fifth session, and these sessions are channeled messages from my son, Robbie, who crossed in 2010, and he's speaking through my dear friend, medium, and amazing channel, Marty McRae. I'm going to bring Marty in now, and I thank you for joining us. Hello, Marty.
Hey.
Welcome
Hello.
back.
Thanks.
I'm excited. We left off last week with Robbie telling us that the most powerful thing was love. And it was a great way to end our session. But
Okay.
evidently, he's been coming to you today and telling you what he wants to talk about. So I will let him kind of direct us, and we'll see where this goes. I do have a couple of questions maybe at the end that some viewers have sent in, and maybe we can ask them at the end. But so I know you have to take your time and go into trance, and then I'll just ask Robbie to give me a high five when he's there. So I want you to take your time.
Okay. Okay. We're ready.
Hello, Robbie.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going fantastic. Thanks for joining us again.
Good. It's good to be here.
Oh, it's amazing, this work. It really is amazing. I know you have some things that maybe you want to talk about, but before we can get into that, last session, you said when you do this channeling work, there are a lot of people standing behind you watching and listening. And so can you take a minute and describe to me and our audience where you are right now, what it looks like, who's around you?
Okay. So, well, they're actually in front of me, and I've got, it's quite a big audience now. We've got probably, about 200 people, souls that are, spirits, if you will, that are watching us from the other side. And it was getting funny. It was kind of hard last time because, and they're doing it again. When I'm talking with you, people from the other side are really eager to get their point across through me to you. This is getting kind of popular on the other side. It's pretty cool. It's really interesting to see a lot of people showing up, and all different types of souls, all different types of folks are here.
So these people that are in front of you are people that have walked the earth?
Yeah. Yes.
At one time?
Yeah, you could say that. Yes.
Well, that sounds...
Okay, so I'm just going to come out and say it. There's people that have walked this earth, and there's also people that come from other dimensions that are coming in to see this. Yeah, I know that's really kind of going to be mind-blowing for a lot of people here, and I can appreciate that. I'm a skeptic until, at least I was a skeptic until I actually experienced something, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is real. So people from other dimensions, and people who've lived many lives on Earth, people who've lived just one or two lives on Earth, but it's souls in heaven combined with other beings from other dimensions.
Other dimensions, other universes, other solar systems, other planets is what you're talking about?
Yep.
Okay, so you just brought up other dimensions. I've been told that there's 7 major, if you will, dimensions. Do you know how
I
many?
don't really know. I mean, My bad. I'm kind of, yes, this is what they're saying. They're saying, yes, yes, that's correct. But um, no, they're even more. They're even more than that. But that we can maybe physically or mentally be aware of at least seven. Yes,
Have you
yes,
been to any of the other dimensions?
yes. Yes,
Okay. Are you
yes, I have.
are you being a little censored what you can tell us right now?
No, I mean, yes and no. They're right here, some of these extra dimensional beings. And so I think, um, not to get too out there, but I think part of the reason that we're doing this is because they would like us to really be aware of them. And so it's okay for me to say, yes, it's okay. It's okay for me to share. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry to be cryptic. It's just they're honestly, every time I've been doing this, the crowd's been getting more and more and more, and
Uh-huh.
so they often shout out things at me when I'm trying to be in somebody else's body and talk through that person and listen to what they're saying. It's kind of a lot,
Oh, okay.
but what they're saying is yes, yes, it's okay to share that at this time. They're wanting Earth people, humans, to know that you're not alone. We're not alone. You, humans, humans are not alone on Earth. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Not
Um,
being
Go ahead, please. More questions.
so when you say we're not alone on earth, are you talking about our support from the spirit world too, that these beings walk with us or are with us or
Yes, yes. You know, here's something that I can share. Heaven, as people know about it, heaven isn't like, well, hard to explain, but you can, there are people, okay, when you die who cross over and they go to heaven, and it's exactly how it's sort of portrayed in the movies, and, God sitting on his throne and white clouds and sitting amongst the clouds and, playing your harp or whatever kind of thing you want to do. There are people that do that. There, but for the most of us over here who maybe weren't so super religious in life, and we come over, it just all depends on what your mind has created as your idea of, what's your best life, what's the best way you want to live. So over here, I see, um, we're just like 3 feet above. Basically, we're 3 feet above what the earth plane is, if you will.
oh,
So if that makes any sense to you, yeah, we're amongst you. We're just right still here in the earthly plane, but
different vibration.
there you go. Yes, yes,
Mhm. So is
yeah,
that why you can contact us because you're so close to us? Um, you don't have to come down from afar. You're
yeah, yeah,
literally right here. And
yep,
do you have to be taught, Robbie, how to get back through to our world?
yeah. I wasn't taught. Well, okay, correction. Yes, I did work with some people on how to raise my energy so that I could come through. And that's why, when you have different mediumship type of readings,
Uh-huh.
some spirits, you tend to sort of be like what you were in on Earth. You carry a lot of those characteristics over with you. So if you were a person who's really super quiet on Earth, you're not going to instantly be, Mr. I talk all the time, you
Right.
know, when you come back through. And for me, I mean, I like to hang out with people. I like to be social. I like to hear people's stories. I like to tell a story or two. I mean, it wasn't that hard for me. I had a job where I was communicating a lot all the time. It was all about how you communicate. And so I kind of already learned a lot before I came over. But yeah, I'm using those skills back to come back through. It's
Okay.
tricky. It's a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. That's for sure.
Yeah. Um, so can I ask you then um, about ghosts? Are those
Yeah.
people that don't want to go where you go, or do they? Is it, some say it's residual energy? Can you tell us, enlighten us, if you will, what ghosts really are?
I to me, this I don't want to tick anyone off, okay? it's it's from what I could see over here, people who do like the paranormal investigations and stuff, that they're definitely on to spirits that are really coming back through in a lot of cases. I think it's all of the above of what you said. Like, I don't know. I think in some cases it's people who are really sticking close and communicating, but for the most part, it is residual energy in different places, and it's also residual energy, and it's people.
Who don't want to go?
Yeah, I don't know. The thing of it is, yeah, there's one or two of those, but not as many. I'm being told not as many as what the paranormal TV shows would have us think. Oh, they just need to cross over into the light. Sometimes, sometimes that's the case, but pretty rarely.
Mm.
It's more they want to really communicate some things. Okay, like they some spirits are just really sticking around because they like I didn't get to finish saying this. I didn't
Oh,
get to finish doing that. And so maybe they just still really have this urge to communicate and they just hadn't really been heard yet.
ah,
And so that's sort of the misunderstanding of, oh, and now they can walk into the light. It's not that that's not true. That could be true, but it's much more rare than what people think.
ah.
It's usually tuning in people when they're hearing, like those spirit box things,
Yeah.
you can tune in and you're really hearing the other side. You're hearing us talking, you're hearing what's going on kind of on the other side. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's like we're seeing a piece of the puzzle, but really the picture is this much bigger. If we on this side as humans are doing paranormal investigation work, you're seeing a piece, just a piece of what can be shown to you.
Okay.
There's always free will, and we on this side are not allowed to violate free will of
Right.
those humans on Earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I've been also told that those humans on Earth are never forgotten. You're always someone, or angels or whoever are always waiting for them. They're never forgotten. Is that
Oh
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm going to ask you one or two more questions, and then I'll see what you want to talk about. I had a question submitted, and the question was, this person was raised Catholic, and they are taught that there's a purgatory, or a holding area that you go into before the judgment day. Have you had any experience with that? Or I know you can only speak from your experience where you went right to heaven, right?
Yep. Floater right up.
Does that
It
go
was
back to, if that's your belief, that's where you're going to go?
I think so. I think that's true. I've not been looking around for people in purgatory here, but I'm sure that that exists for people who believe that that's what they're going to go do.
Hmm.
I think, okay, so I've just been told that people in a self-imposed purgatory are really waiting for prayers, and they're waiting to hear all their loved ones pray for them, pray for their souls to cross and get a boost to go up into heaven. But it is all in the mind, it is all in the soul. And you know what? It's so powerful when you cross over, right? It's so powerful, the energy that you're taken out of your body, and it's just wow. I mean, it's just like bam, like super energy. And that's hard to fight. Most people don't fight it. They're just, you're not even aware of it. You're just sucked into, you just go with it.
Yeah.
And so, but there are some people who are, I'm being shown the process of being more tight and more hanging on to that framework and that mental structure of purgatory. So if you want to hang on to that, and that's what you want to wait for people to pray for you, and you wait for God to come and get you and go do your life review and judgment, that will be what you do.
Wow.
But it seems that you don't have to.
Very,
That's all of that is sort of a human created. That's a creation of humans on earth
wow.
believing that.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Okay,
It doesn't mean it's wrong to believe.
no.
I mean, believe what you need to believe. It's okay. Everything is okay. It's I'm going to go back to and this is what I'm being told to say, all rivers lead to the same ocean. So meaning that rivers come down mountains and eventually end up into the ocean. So you believe any different type of religion, it's all going to be coming down to the same heaven.
I like that, Robbie. I like that a lot. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to ask you about your body now. Now, and it's because of my work with orbs too. So I have been told basically we are energy. So you are, and when we shed this physical body, we revert
Yep.
back to our true form, which is energy. Now, you have said that you can create anything with your mind and you're there, but are you truly there? Or like, for instance, you like to go surfing and you've told me you miss the physical of the water running over your feet and actually being there, but you can project that you're surfing. Is it almost like you are doing a hologram of this and living in the hologram of whatever it is you want to create? Because in reality, you are a light body. You're light. Am I correct in that?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I don't know what to add to that. Yes, that's correct. That's why I'll say it again. That's why people who maybe I think that's probably the number one thing that I hear from other young people who have taken their lives or died accidentally or felt like whoever died and came over here and felt like, hey, that was too short, or I screwed up, I shouldn't have left so early, or people who have that that yearning, like all I can say is like, don't. I mean, whoops, I shouldn't have done that, gone too soon. That's what they're yearning for, is because that's just not here. It's not here. You can't recreate that. There's something to be said for having a human body. That's physicality, and that's why people. It's a double-edged sword. It's yin and yang. It's people want to come back, souls over here who maybe felt like, hey, that was too short, I want to come back and be in a physical body. That's what they're yearning for, is the reality, the realness of yeah, feeling and being in a body. Yeah, you
So,
just can't replace that. It cannot be replicated over here. It can 3/4, like almost as good as, but not quite, you
I
know?
I understand. But there's a lot of positives on your side that we don't have on this side.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's zero negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just love. It's love over here. And that's all that I'm remembering, how much I love my family, how much I love my friends. I can't explain that enough. I can't say that enough. It's just everything's positive and all the petty, ego and worries about dumb stuff. None of that's here.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a I don't even it's hard. It's hard for a lot of us to remember. It feels strange to me now to experience anger. I don't. I mean, I have to remember it sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then okay. So that leads in, unless you have more questions,
No,
that
go ahead.
totally it leads into what I was told that we should be talking about today. And that topic is estrangement in families,
Oh, okay.
and very strongly being told that. So,
You're being told by whom to say this? The people around you?
yeah, there's a council here. There's a
Oh,
council.
okay. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that for the audience. Like,
Yeah, there's a
your council, your higher guidance team. Can we call them that?
yes,
Okay.
yes, we could call them that.
Okay.
So they're saying that this is a complicated concept to really get across, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
So, estrangement in families, it's happening. It's a trend.
Mm.
It's not just happening in one or two families. It's happening all across the world, but kind of especially in the United States. Some of the Western nations are
Mm.
really struggling with this more. Um, it's well, it's people shouldn't beat themselves up too badly. If you have a family member who's going one way and you're going a different way, and you're both really convinced that no, you're right, no, you're right, no, I'm right. The goal of living on Earth is to create more love. Estrangement does not, estrangement, if you're not speaking to a family member, if you've cut off a family member, it just does that. It stops the growth of a certain type of love. Now, there are people, I'm sure, watching this maybe who might watch it someday. This is not to make you wrong or bad or you're breaking the rules, because in Christianity, in many of the world's religions, it's all about honor your mother and father. If you're estranged from them, for example, um, you know, uh, treat others as you would like to be treated. Well, that's hard if they're not speaking to you. So it estrangement, just the breaking of relationships. They're saying that there's a certain amount of that because of the ascension of the world. There's a certain amount that's going to happen. There's a certain amount of, listen, I can't talk to them anymore because they just can't hear me.
Yeah.
And um, I'm being told to tell you that's okay. If you've tried your best, if you've tried to be your best self with people that you love, if you've tried to communicate your point of view in the best way you can, um, what else can you do? That and by the way, if you're in an estranged situation, you can't beat yourself up for it. You have to just accept it for what it is, because we can't control other people and what they think and feel.
No.
But you can control yourself. So say you have a brother or sister or somebody who's, they're not speaking to me, therefore I'm not speaking to them, and it's just become separate. Um, be open, remain open to love. That's how to handle estrangement. Remain open to love. Let the person or people know that you're open to loving them. So maybe if they come back, just be open to it. That's all a person can do. If you've tried to communicate and as clearly as possible your point of view, it's not accepted. It's argued about. There's just, I guess what they want me to communicate is that a certain level of estrangement is sort of, I keep seeing the word attrition. They're telling me to talk about attrition, like, well, there's a certain amount of relationships with this ascension business that are just going to fall away because there are a certain number of humans who just aren't going to understand it yet and they're not ready to yet.
So, Robbie, you're talking about a couple things here. So let me clarify, make sure I understand. First of all, there is, you say, more estrangements going on in the Western world. And the Western world is the ones experiencing an awakening spiritually. So we have people who are steadfast religious, and we have a growing number of people who are growing spiritually. It's almost two different things. So is that what you're talking about? Is the cause of the rise in estrangement? Is the it's not drastic, but the difference in views of why we're here?
Yes, that's a large part of it. Another part is the difference in journeys, the difference in, some humans are sent to Earth and they've got a whole different journey than what you may have. And accepting that and acknowledging it and respecting it is huge. That can help with the feelings of estrangement from a loved one. If you can just accept that another human's life purpose may be so different than what your soul is here for. Respect. And so that's what I'm being told to say is that respect was a key component of that word, honor your mother and father. Just having the respect for another human who happens to be, if they're in that role as your mother or father, you have respect for that. You respect that they brought you into this world. They were vehicles to help you come into this world, and therefore they deserve your respect on that level. However, if those people, were abusive or unkind, or they don't actively fit into your life or show you the love that you need, then there are reasons, good human reasons that you sometimes need to go, all right, no, that's not working for me. I need to be on my own to finish my journey, to finish my soul's journey. Now, if they can respect that in you, then yeah, I'm seeing it's a win-win.
So I think what you're talking about is, I hope I understand this, is release the guilt if you are estranged.
Yeah.
But don't judge the other person. Don't hold animosity towards them. Forgive them and understand that they are on their own path. They came into this world to either teach you or help you along your soul growth, and then ultimately stay open if they change or that you can find common ground. Don't stand in judgment and unforgiveness. Is that the...
Yeah, that's right, Mom.
Okay.
That's it. Funny, I could talk about myself personally.
Okay.
As a human, as a human, I'm remembering the intense emotions of being in a courtroom
Mm-hmm.
and the emotion of judgment
Yeah.
of people in the courtroom, everyone's struggling with how to judge each other. Um,
Hmm.
those emotions of judgment and evaluating others, judging others for how they are in the world. Um, well, I wouldn't do that. Well, if I was in that guy's shoes, I might not have done that. All those kind of judgments that we make as humans all the time.
Right.
I'm very relieved to be on the other side and out of that because even just thinking about that now and remembering that, it brings the energy inside. I can feel it. It almost ties you into knots of
Right.
it's a darkening, it's a thickening of energy.
Yes.
So over here, there's none of that.
Right.
You're free of that. You're free of those dark, thick kind of emotions.
Yeah.
Um, that's the best way I can describe it. And so estrangement is like one facet of those type of feelings.
Okay.
You know, I'm judging you, I'm hurt, I'm angry, and therefore I'm not speaking to that guy anymore because what does he know? And he doesn't care about me. You can really get into it really thickly, a downward spiral of judging others.
Yeah.
And
It's hard, I think, Robbie, it's hard for us here on Earth. You have the advantage of
yep,
seeing the big picture of how everybody's life interplays with everybody else's and the roles they play. We don't have that perspective here, and it's very hard for us to remember that. But I think if we do, this world would be a much nicer world. But that's hard as a human, but it's a big lesson that we need to learn is everybody, it's like what you said, the rivers, everybody's a river, but we all lead to the ocean one way or another. Yeah.
yeah, we're all going to the same place. And I will say, funny, they're wanting me to talk about this, but I know that this is a touchy subject with humans, heaven and hell. Um, just because you believe differently than I believe doesn't, one person's not going to heaven, the other one's going to hell. It isn't like that. Everyone dies and we all come over into this dimension. We're all over here. We're all going to the same place ultimately. It's just you can imagine your way into different facets of this place,
Yeah.
but ultimately, your energy leaves your body and you return to source being God. So one way or another, we're all going to the same place. You've got this short time on earth to live your best life and learn your lessons the best way you can. Bring those back over because when you get back over here, then you can see everything. Then you can see, oh, I understand how this all fits together now.
Yeah.
And you only see in love. That's why love is what makes it so that you can see the big picture. So
Mhm.
if you can create more love where you are in this dark, sometimes really negative earth, then you'll be able to see more and more the big picture, seeing others through God's eyes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was pretty heavy, Robbie. But it's a big lesson. It's a
yeah,
lesson for us.
yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to look at the people that are standing in front of you and pick somebody, what they want to ask or say, and share it with us.
Okay.
And then
Well,
tell
right.
us, tell us who or what you're hearing this from too, okay?
Okay. There's a lady here named Lisa, and she shows herself to me as African American, and she's just been sitting in front of me this whole time going, say this, say that about racism. That's a huge topic.
Ah,
And you know what? I don't know if I'm really qualified. I mean, I'm just going to let her tell me what she wants to say.
Okay.
Racism is something that I think last time we were talking about um, being a prisoner,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
justice system.
Yeah, we were.
So the justice, yeah, the justice system. She's wanting to bring that up. Mass incarceration. You know, always being treated as a second class citizen, no matter what you do or say or how you are. Um, the souls that are coming into America at this time are changing things. This generation, this is what she's wanting me to communicate to all African American souls. I'm just relaying the message
That's fine.
that take heart. Um, it's changing. It will ultimately change. It's it's the beginning of the change that we saw it in the 60s, we saw it in the 70s, but it's so frustrating. It's so slow for the folks who have lived through that time. It's so slow, it's painful, it's frustrating, it's maddening. I've seen it. I've seen so many brown people come over who are just so downtrodden and so frustrated with the terrible way they've been treated in the world.
Hmm.
And they come over here, and it's such a relief. And they're really wanting to communicate backwards through me to you, to anyone who's watching. Take heart. Take heart, for racism will be ended.
And I'm
It's
thinking that that is part of the universal awakening too, of realizing
yes,
we are all equals, right?
yes. And
Yeah.
everything takes longer than you would hope.
Yeah.
But to keep hope alive, keep hope alive. That's that's her main message.
Well, I hope that gets to the right people. I'm sure it will. I'm sure
I
it will.
hope so too.
So, okay, well, we're at the end here, and I've got to get my friend back, Robbie. Is there any one quick thing you want to say, or do you want to hold it till next time? It's up to you.
Uh, no, I think we've covered a lot. I kind of, yeah,
Okay.
that's it. That's it for now.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of
Thank you.
questions for next time. Wow. Okay. Thank you, my son. I love you.
I love you.
So Marty's going to come back. Takes her a few minutes, but I wanted to tell you something. Our contact information will be posted at the end of this video. Marty has her website, martymccrae.com. And what she's going to start doing, and I believe she said she will post this blog this weekend, is what happens to her during this session, what she sees, what she experiences. In other words, it's a peek behind the curtain for you. So if you want to read what she actually goes through when she steps away so Robbie can enter, you can go to martymccrae.com and read her blog. And again, that should be posted at the end of the video. Also, my website, theorbconnection.com. And if you're interested in ordering my book, it's on Amazon in paperback and Kindle version, ebook. And it's about my journey and how all this started with Robbie. So I'm hoping Marty is finding her feet, coming back into this dimension. Let her go, Robbie. Quit talking. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's me.
Boy, that was jam-packed, absolutely jam-packed. Now, again, Marty doesn't watch these sessions because she doesn't want to be influenced. but I can
Yeah.
tell you that it was a ton of information, very good information, and you become Robbie more and more each time we do this. So thank you. I also told people about your blog, that you're going to be blogging about what happens to you when you step aside.
Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to say about that?
I just think I just want to thank you for the trust that you've placed in me, because it's this is definitely not something I ever saw myself doing, and for me to step out this way in public has been really scary, and I'm just excited to share. I just it just occurred to me, oh well, people need to know really where do I go during these sessions.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited to share that, so maybe people will understand more how how it all works.
Well, and I thank you for teaming up with me. Robbie picked you, and he picked you for a reason. So Robbie and I, are very grateful that you are the vehicle with which we can broadcast this. So thank you, Marty. So until
Thanks.
we meet again next week, I wish you a very blessed life, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.